This is Pokemon Platinum, but I've made a few changes to it. My goal was to make the game harder, but still staying close to the original version. So what kind of changes did I end up making? Well, I took every single trainer battle, every rival, every Team Galactic, Gym Leader, Elite Four, everyone, and I fully evolved their team. I'm expecting some of these to be borderline impossible, especially since we're doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, meaning we are limited to the first encounter per area, and if any of our team members faint, they are dead forever and can never be used again. So with this one small change, is it even possible to beat the game? Let's find out. The start of the game is pretty much unchanged as Barry drags us out of the house to get our starter. Gary Oak drags us out of the house to get our starter, but before we can make a dash for the tall grass, Professor Rowan stops us and has us make the most important decision of the run. Now, in my opinion, all three starters are viable options, but the one I ultimately went with was Chimchar just due to Sinnoh's lack of fire types. After choosing our little guy, we get immediately challenged by our rival, and lo and behold, his Piplup has been upgraded into an Empoleon. This is gonna be a forced loss, but technically, the Nuzlocke hasn't begun yet, so we're in the clear. After naming our little guy Monkey, we finally get access to Pokeballs, meaning we can start putting together a team with hopefully some good rock counters. So on Route 201, our first encounter ends up being a Bidoof, appropriate name of course being Arceus Jr. At Lake Verity, we find a Starly, which since we've already got a bird up from our Soul Silver run, this guy will be bird down. And then our last encounter on Route 202 ends up being an Intimidate Shinx, who got the nickname Aura Farm. That's actually going to be our main weapon against the first obstacle, the Youngster Gauntlet. This gauntlet is comprised of 3 unavoidable trainers, each with their own fully evolved Pokemon. The first one up is Youngster Tristan, who leads with the Staraptor and immediately drops our attack with Intimidate. We're gonna do the same as we switch into Shinx to start farming Aura, even cycling around a few times to stack the debuffs. Then, with his attack cut in half, we can drop his defense with Leer to finish him off with a few more hits, letting us maneuver around the first challenge. The second Gauntlet member is Last Natalie, sending out a fully evolved Bibarel as we're leading with Shinx to start farming Aura again. A couple Intimidate cycles later, and we can pull the same trick to take him out, since at level 5, they don't have access to game-breaking moves like Headbutt or Rollout yet. And that only leaves Youngster Logan, whose male Burmy is now upgraded into a Mothim. But once again, we can lead with Shinx to start farming Aura, before switching into Bird Down to take him out with a Wing Attack. So with the Youngster Gauntlet wrapped up, we can set foot into Jubilife to grab some more encounters. But I didn't realize that our rival stops us before we can access the tall grass. He's leading with Staraptor, but thanks to our experience battling those youngsters, we now know the best strategy to take him out. Shinx starts farming Aura a few times, dropping his attack as we take him out with a few tackles, which then only leaves his Empoleon, but we keep the strat going, dropping the Penguin's attack before finally taking him out with Monkey since he just starts spamming Growl. A couple embers later, and Empoleon's been thoroughly cooked, meaning with the rival behind us, we can finally start rounding out the team, this time hopefully with some good rock counters. And our new team members end up being, on Route 203, we end up finding a freaking Abra. You can see me here checking out how rare this was. Apparently not that rare, it's just a 15% encounter. I forgot to buy Pokeballs before this one, so after doing a little prayer to Arceus Jr., we attempt the catch, and holy, this is gaming right here. After tragically losing our Kadabra to a Pursuit in Soul Silver, Crackpipe rejoins the team, this time under the name Fapoon, to celebrate the beautiful matrimony of his beloved silverware. We've also got another insane pickup inside Orberg Gate, picking up Spice the Psyduck, named after notorious mispronouncer Psyduck Spice,
Swanana,
which is such a good encounter for the first gym challenge. We've got a couple other unnoteworthy encounters, like an Onix that refused to get caught, but that's all we've got to do before we challenge the gym. And with our new pickup, we can absolutely demolish the gym trainers here, taking out their golems with the quad-effective water gun, as well as the lone Steelix, since his special defense is so awful. So with our little practice knocked out, it's time to head in and try our hand at that MONSTER Rampardos in the back. Roark starts the battle with his fully evolved Golem, but Spice comes in totally prepared. We finish off his Golem and Steelix with a couple water guns, even getting the level up by the time Rampardos hits the field. That puts our water gun at a 2-hit KO, but Rampardos hits us with a massive headbutt. We are brought down to 8 HP, and looking at how much health is left on Rampardos, I really wasn't confident we could finish him off. I ended up switching into Shinx to start farming Aura again, but Roark's AI predicts this and goes for a pursuit. He picks off our remaining HP, which makes Spice the first death of our run. But at the very least, thanks to another Intimidate drop, Monkey can finish him off with our newly learned Mach Punch, letting us collect our first gym badge as we lay our fallen friend to rest. Back in Jubilife, we've got to do the double battle against Team Galactic, and even though they lead with their fully evolved Skuntank and Purugly, Dawn's team also got hit with the fully evolved Beam as her Turtwig's now a Torterra. It didn't make a huge difference since Monkey can take care of both of them. We've got a few encounters to knock out as we make our way up the route, catching ourselves a Badoo who got the nickname Mountain Badoo. Yeah, this one I struggled to come up with something creative. Look at past Magnus struggling to come up with a name. We've also got to take care of Team Galactic at Valley Windworks, which is made much easier since we've now got a second Aura Farmer on the team, as Bird Down gains the Intimidate ability when she evolves. Monkey's Mach Punches end up finishing off the Fat Cat, so we can continue on our way to clear through a turn of forest with Cheryl. Her Chansey is evolved into a Blissey, but we really don't have many notable encounters to talk about. The random trainers here get some nice upgrades, like we have a double Alakazam battle, but that's really all we've got to do before heading in to take on Gardenia. Her trainers get some nice upgrades like Cherim and Roserade. Yeah, this lady, Aroma Lady Jenna, usually has 3 Badoos, but now we've got to face 3 Roserades. But guess who's our counter? That's right, our new Aura Farmer can just one-tap everyone with a wing attack. And that only leaves Gardenia herself, but since our team is stacked with counters, I'm really not too worried. Her lead Turtwig is now a Torterra, allowing him to tank a wing attack as he sets up his Reflect and Sunny Day. That makes it harder to take him out with Bird Down, but since the turtle can hardly touch us, we can just stay in and farm his aura before taking him out as the Reflect ends. And this is also the turn where the sun ends, so Cherim ends up as another one-shot, and Monkey, our other hard counter, can clean up her Roserade, making that a very simple victory as we collect our second gym badge. Team Galactic is back, this time in the Eterna building. They're holding the bike guy hostage, but since Intimidate is so busted, we can pretty effectively nerf her Crobat to take him out with Spark, and her Skuntank needs a few Aura farming cycles, but since she never gets a crit Night Slash, we can set up the Leech Seeds to help out Monkey, who not only resists the Night Slashes, but also finishes off her Ace, clearing them out of the building and letting us move on to the next town. On our way out, this is also where Cynthia gives us a Togepi egg, and I was pretty stumped for a nickname again, so shout out to this guy on the Pokemon nickname website for helping us out. Let's face it, ... Togepis are crap! ! So I gave it a nickname that explains that point. ... Poopenheimer.
Now I am become Poop, Heimer of Worlds.
Bruh.
I won't be adding anyone to the team just yet, so in the meantime, we can head down Cycling Road to our next town. The trainers here are a little tough to avoid thanks to the cycling mechanic, but it's guys like Staraptor, Rapidash, and Luxray, so we can either intimidate them or just outpace them thanks to our level advantage. We get to see some cross-gen evos too, as one of the hikers here has a Probopass, but that's an additional steel type, which Monkey can power through. Inside Mount Coronet, we have a little conversation with Cyrus, but we don't have to battle him yet, as we dodge all the trainers and make our way through into Hearthome. There is an important pickup here, that being an Eevee from BB named Skibbeevee, like Skibbeevee Toilet. Guys, I don't know how much longer I can do this nickname theme for. I'm not that creative. The main reason why we're here though is our third gym challenge, which honestly, I am very nervous for. We don't have the best answers to ghost types right now, so we've really got to practice on the gym trainers. The biggest takeaways for me are we need to abuse the normal immunity from Bibarel and Staravia because the rest of our guys are not surviving a Shadow Ball. Luxio can use super effective bites, but those are only 60 base power. And Monkey's got a strong stab flame wheel, which is probably all we can do. It's admittedly a pretty shaky strat, but we've got a rough plan in place to take her on. Fantina leads with her newly buffed Dusknoir, honestly insane for this point in the game, as we're leading with Roselia. I figured the best way to have some consistent damage into her lead was to set up the Leech Seeds, and since the AI sees Future Sight as a super effective psychic move, they end up wasting their turns as we slowly take them out. Gengar comes out next, who's keeping her original moveset and definitely using Shadow Claw here. Arceus Jr. can be immune to the attack, while also sponging the Future Sight, which then lets us switch into Aura Farm without the threat of a Shadow Claw. But we get tagged with a Confuse Ray, and to play around that self-hit, what I do is I switch out and back in to shake it off, while also farming more Aura to nerf her attack. Then a couple bites finish her off, leaving only Miss Magius. I'm left with no option but to play super aggro, so we can tank a Shadow Ball to hit back with another bite. Then, since we know the Shadow Ball is coming, I switch into Bird Down for the immunity. Unfortunately, we just hit ourselves in confusion, but we can pivot into Fapoon on the guaranteed Psybeam and back into Bird Down on the guaranteed Shadow Ball. It takes a few tries, but we eventually find a good cadence to hit through confusion to take out our ace with Wing Attack, finishing off this tough battle and letting us collect badge number 3. It's a bit of a stretch to get to our next gym challenge though, and in that time, we take out our rival on our way out of Hearthome since our dual aura farming is too strong and Roselia is our dedicated answer to Empoleon. It's funny, we also lose Ralts as our encounter twice, since we lose the one on the route to the left of Hearthome and the one to the right. Both teleported away, so I guess that's our luck running out from catching Abra. Still though, Platinum has some really good encounters, and we end up getting a Chansey and a Scyther. There's also some really fun trainers here once they're all fully evolved, like this double battle has a Roserade and Gliscor, and then in the back they've got Licky Licky, Floatzel, Gardevoir, and Drifblim. It's changes like this that make these playthroughs so fun for me, because normally we'd be tearing through the Gligar or Kirlia or whatever, but when they're fully evolved, you get to see some cool mons while also not needing 3 hours to plan each fight. Arriving in Veilstone, we can get stocked up at the department store, but that's all we really gotta take care of before heading in to take on Maylene. It's finally Kadabra's time to shine, as our super effective Psybeam can demolish the Machamps and Metachamps. One guy here has a Toxicroak, which is an easy quad effective hit, and Mr. Breast makes a return too, but Fapoon easily takes him out with our Psybeam spam. It's really the click A simulator, but what can you do when you've got such a great counter to her team? Maylene herself, we changed up the strat a little bit by leading with Bird Down to drop her attack with Intimidate. Then our super effective Aerial Ace just barely misses out on the KO, and since this is definitely heal range, I just stay in and attack again. But Metacham uses Drain Punch instead. I don't know why Maylene didn't bother with healing, but she also gets a critical hit. Bird Down goes down, giving us the second death of our run. Fapoon can come out, and after all her training, we can finish off Metacham, take care of her upgraded Machamp, and pick off her ace Lucario for the win. We place our fallen soldier in the death box, meaning now we need to find a new replacement, preferably a flying type, and looking at the random pickups we got from our adventure, there's one standout option. No, not them. Our replacement team member is gonna be Poopenheimer the Togepi. We can evolve him up into Togetic, so typing-wise, we're still the same, as Togetic is still normal flying in Gen 4. Arriving in Pastoria, we get a couple unnoteworthy encounters, and I'm not planning to add any of them to the team since I want to keep these guys alive. We take care of our rival Gary outside the gym, but considering how easy this portion of the journey is in the vanilla version, I don't think we're gonna have much trouble against this upcoming gym. Mountain Dew is a great answer into the upgraded Whiscash here, and against the water flying guys, we have Luxray come out and take him out with quad effective Sparks. The diversity here is pretty nice. There's Azu here, and also Seaking, Gastrodon, and Golduck, but they're still mediocre water types at the end of the day. Crasher Wake is the same deal, as we take out his lead Gyarados with our resident Aura Farmer. Quagsire is answered pretty easily thanks to Mountain Dew, and lastly, Floatzel gets cleaned up by Arceus Jr. since we resist Brine, Aqua Jet, and Ice Fang. That's 5 badges down, and after chasing around Team Galactic for a bit, Cynthia recruits us to help her clear out the Horde of Psyduck to reach Celestic Town. There's a few encounters on our way through the obligatory swamp route, like Archelos or a Pichu in Trophy Garden, but that's all we've really got to take care of as we make our way up to find Cynthia's grandma. Turns out, Team Galactic's already here, and the grunt at the front of the cave does show off a pretty neat Houndoom, but Monkey takes care of him, and Aura Farm takes care of his Crobat. The Mini Cyrus fight here isn't bad either, as we can do the same thing to take out Weavile and Crobat. His Honchkrow falls right after, so that means we can get access to Surf and keep going for the next gym fight. We catch a Floatzel on our way there. These nicknames are f***ing stupid. Obama Prism? Straight into the trash with this one. Now, inside Canalave, this is where the most infamous fight is. No, not Byron. This stupid rival fight is the bane of my existence, mostly due to how they are all fully evolved in the base game. This right here is my bridge incident. So luckily, it'll be the same team, but that doesn't mean it'll be a walk in the park. Fortunately though, Aura Farm is able to clean up his Staraptor, Poopenheimer actually takes out Roserade, Mountain Dew takes out Empoleon since he can't touch us, and Monkey chains a double kill into Rapidash and Heracross. Byron's gym isn't too bad either, since they're all steel types, which is like the easiest type to counter. All of the Magnemite get upgraded into Magnezone, and this Ace Trainer gets to upgrade her 3 Bronzors, but the other guys with Steelix or Scizor are unchanged and go down just as easily. Byron is the same thing. Monkey one-shots the buffed Magnezone, Arceus Jr. actually washes away Steelix thanks to his low special defense, and Bastiodon is also cleaned up by Monkey, giving us probably the easiest gym badge so far. We've got access to Iron Island now, but there isn't too much to do except to grab the Shiny Stone. The Team Galactic fight against Saturn is really easy too, since Aura Farm and Poopenheimer easily dispatched the whole team. And between our 2 Shiny Stone candidates, I opted to get Togekiss to help us out for our next gym fight, as we head back to Lake Verity to clean up the Mars fight. Monkey and Arceus can get the job done, so there's only one more lake to take care of up in northern Sinnoh. Monkey's fire can guide us through the snowy routes as we arrive in Snow Point to get ready and challenge the gym here. All of the Sneasels get upgraded into Weavile, the Piloswine is now a Mamoswine, and this one just landed a freeze on our Infernape. The only way to guarantee a thaw is to use a fire type attack, but luckily we've got Flame Wheel. No way, he actually survived it. We don't get the 10% burn, so that's a fully powered Earthquake into our starter. Rest in peace, buddy. This one was some actual BS, and yeah, I'm still salty about it. What a throw. That definitely jeopardizes our chances to beat Candice, so we desperately need a new fire type on our team. And Fuego Ironworks is the perfect place as we pick up a Magmar to join the team. I've already got the Magmarizer, so we can evolve him right away to fill that monkey-sized hole in our heart. This is still not a walk in the park, and I'm really not confident in this one. She leads with her newly buffed Weavile, not a pathetic Sneasel anymore, so I've got to lead with Luxray to drop their attack. That lets us tank their Feint attack, as we can fire back with 2 Sparks to finish them off. And this immediately baits out her newly evolved Mamoswine, no more useless Piloswine, so we can switch into Poopenheimer on the baited Earthquake, which then always baits Avalanche, letting us switch into Arceus Jr., but Mamo goes for a Stone Edge instead, kind of messing up our plan as he then outspeeds on the next turn with an Earthquake, which finishes us off. Honestly, Bibarel is kind of falling off at this point in the game, so it's not the most devastating loss. We can send out Aura Farm to start farming Aura, then pull that same line to switch into Poops, then into Mountain Dew as Mamo sets up the Hail. But then she outspeeds us again, landing a critical hit Stone Edge to bypass the Intim drop, giving us death number 2. This freaking matchup against this stupid Mamoswine is driving me nuts. Again, Aura Farm to drop their attack, switch into Poop on the Earthquake. And now, with Mamoswine's attack cut in half, we have Poopenheimer stay in and use Flamethrower, which just happens to outspeed in one shot. Look at this idiot's face of confusion. You have got to be f***ing kidding me. Candice, Abomasnow dies to Flamethrower, Frostlass dies to Flamethrower. Okay, look, what the f*** was that? In what world does Togekiss one-shot Mamoswine? I feel like my whole life is a lie. With our 2 team members laid to rest in the death box, we need to come up with a plan for the last gym leader, as well as the upcoming Elite Four. In my opinion, the biggest threats are having an electric answer for Volkner, a fire answer for Flint, and a dragon answer for Cynthia. Ideally, I just want to check off those 3, so from our box, first up is Jayward the Shellos, with a valuable immunity to electric, super effective against fire, and also access to Ice Beam for Garchomp. And the second team member is Skip Eevee the Eevee, who after leveling up close to the Icy Rock can become Skip Eevee the Glaceon to act as another ice answer for our team. With access to Stab, Ice Beam, and Blizzard, plus we can set up our own Hail to make use of our Snow Cloak ability. I'm very excited to try out this underrated evolution. Now, the 8th gym leader is still locked off for us until we stop Team Galactic, so we can chase Cyrus down to the Galactic headquarters to take him out. Magmortar actually single-handedly takes out his entire team, thanks to our crazy coverage with access to Thunderbolt. The double battle at the top of Spear Pillar also isn't that bad, since our rival's team gets the fully evolved boost too, meaning this time his Munchlax doesn't just die on turn 1. So with Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina summoned, we've got to follow Cyrus into the Distortion World for the final confrontation. The strength puzzles aren't tough at all, you just put the rock in the one they're standing in front of, and at the end of the maze is what we came down here for, the final fight against Cyrus. 27 years old, by the way.
You are the youngest person ever.
Our new team members can put in the work against his guys, as Jayward sponges the Dark Pulses and takes out Houndoom with Surf, Aura Farm starts farming Gyarados to finish him off with Spark, and IShowDuck, our Infernape replacement, proves his place on the team by taking out Weavile, Honchkrow, and Crobat. With Team Galactic disbanded and Giratina caught, this guy finally leaves his post and lets us make our way over to Sunnyshore. But in all honesty, Jayward makes this gym a piece of cake. The trainers literally can't touch us, and Volkner's the same deal. Jayward cleans up Jolteon because we end up forcing the AI to use Iron Tail as their strongest move, and Raichu also can't do much with Focus Blast, so we can clean them up with Surf too. Electivire's kinda scary with Giga Impact, so we can drop their attack with Luxray before finishing them off with our Fire Duck. And that just leaves his own Luxray, so we can honor the mirror matchup to take him out with our own Luxray. With Waterfall unlocked, we make our way through Victory Road and take on our rival for one last showing. At this point, his team is easily taken care of just like our last battle, so we can focus all our efforts on finalizing the team. Ultimately, this is what I settled on. Aura Farm the Luxray with Crunch, Return, Discharge if we need a para, and Spark. Fapoon the Alakazam with Psychic, Grass Knot, Shadow Ball, and Charge Beam to boost our special attack. Jayward the Gastrodon, a mixed attacking set of Surf, Earthquake, Ice Beam, and Sludge Bomb. Skip Eevee the Glaceon, who's rocking the Quad Ice moveset, setting up Hail for our Snow Cloak evasion and perfect accuracy Blizzards. IShowDuck the Magmortar, our resident special attacker who's carrying the torch from our starter Infernape to honor his legacy. And lastly, we've got Poopenheimer the Togekiss with Aura Sphere, Serene Grace boosted Air Slash, Psychic, and Flamethrower. I'm feeling very confident in our team of 6 here. I mean, 2 of these guys joined the team and never even left it. So with everything prepared, it's time to step in for the final challenge of the run. Aaron is up first, but we've got 2 dedicated hard counters to his bug types. Yanmega goes down to an Air Slash, and this causes the AI to panic and immediately send out Drapion. But IShowDuck, our other dedicated counter, can torch her way through the rest of the team, taking out Drapion, Vespiquen, Heracross, and Caesar with our super effective Flamethrower. Bertha follows the same way, as this time we're leading with Fapoon to counter her Whiscash. Our quad-effective Grass Knot can handle her lead, which immediately baits out Hippowdon because she wants to use Crunch. But we can call on Skip Eevee to tank it as we set up the Hail to not only remove her sand, but also one-shot her with our now perfect accuracy Blizzards. Hippowdon goes down, and we even chain the kill into Golem for a second KO. But when Rhyperior comes out, honestly, I felt this guy was gonna be way bulkier, and I did not want to tank a Rock Wrecker, so I switched into J-Word to tank it. Then a Quad Effective Surf finishes her off, and a Quad Effective Ice Beam finishes off her remaining Gliscor, making that 2 down with 2 to go. Flint, aka Ronald McDonald, is up next, and we've got the perfect answer in our Gastrodon. We can surf our way through half his team, taking out Houndoom in a single hit, which then starts the chain of baiting the AI. He'll want to send out Rapidash since he sees Solar Beam as the best move, but the AI doesn't recognize that it's a 2-turn move, so J-Word can one-shot him with a Surf, and that's going to cause the AI to do the exact same with Magmortar. Mag can actually tank a Surf though, so we can just switch into our own Mag for the mirror matchup. Thunderbolt finishes him off as J-Word can clean up Infernape with another Surf. Flareon is actually scary though, but we've got a strategy. Aura Farm can guarantee an attack drop with Intimidate, and we know he's always using Overheat. So we can bring out Magmortar to sponge it, causing Flareon to drop their special attack and making them basically useless. Poopenheimer ultimately finishes them off, so we've just navigated our way through this puzzle with only one E4 member left. After those battles, Lucian is definitely a letdown. It's the Fapoon and Poopenheimer show this time, as Fapoon can solo half his team, taking out Mr. Mime and Espeon before tagging out into Poops to deal with Bronzong. They're dealt with by our Flamethrower, and we even chain the kill into his Gallade thanks to an Air Slash flinch. But the flinch activates his Steadfast ability. Gallade gets a +1 to his speed, letting him outspeed and hit us with a Stone Edge, which very luckily does not crit. Another Air Slash can finish him off, and Fapoon finishes off his remaining Alakazam in the mirror matchup, taking out our last Elite Four member and leaving only one last Cynthia in our way. The Queen of Sinnoh greets us as we enter the final room, as this upcoming battle is going to determine if we become the new Sinnoh champions or if we have to reset all the way back to Twin Leaf Town. She lowers her head as she leads with Spiritomb, and we're starting with Poopenheimer as our only strategy is to Air Slash and hope for the flinch. Our Serene Grace bumps it to 60% and we get it right away. Spiritomb goes down on the next turn as Cynthia goes for the mirror matchup in return. But Poopenheimer's on an insane roll as we outspeed and use another Air Slash, getting another flinch, and then another Air Slash, which gets another flinch. I cannot believe our luck today as Cynthia heals up and we get another flinch, making that 4 in a row. Lucario is out next, and this is definitely a Stone Edge, so J-Word can easily tank that. Our Stab Earthquake decimates her Fursona, letting us safely take him out as we're now halfway through her team. This always baits out Rose Raid, so Aisho Duck can tag in to burn through her Rose with our super effective Flamethrower. 4 down, 2 to go as Cynthia sends out Milotic, and this is definitely going to be a Surf. J-Word is literally built for this thanks to her Storm Drain ability, so I send her out, but the attack connects? We get taken out, but that didn't make sense. Look at past me here trying to figure out what just happened. I'm checking the summary screen, like, we did have Storm Drain, right? And there wasn't anything removing our ability or something. Well, it turns out, all it does in Gen 4 is redirect the water moves. It wasn't until Unova that you were fully immune to them. Honestly, this was a game mechanic that I just never knew, so I'm not gonna beat myself up too much. At the very least, Aura Farm can come out and nearly take out Milo with a Spark, but Cynthia withdraws. She sends out her Ace to sponge the attack, and with no way to drop her attack, I've gotta think fast. This is 100% Earthquake, so it's safe to switch into Poops to dodge it. But Garchomp outspeeds and hits us with a hard Dragon Rush, and Poops gets flinched. On the following turn, she misses her Dragon Rush as we fire back with a hard Air Slash. A Citrus helps her out a bit, but I've got to try a new strategy. Luxray can farm her aura one more time, dropping her attack to let us find a moment to bring out Skibidi. Then we tank a brutal Flamethrower, but we hold strong and fire back with an Ice Beam, landing the 4 times quad effective hit to knock her out. Garchomp finally goes down, but the burn also takes our life in the process, making that our second death in this battle. Funny, the two team members we brought after the Candice fight ended up going out together, kind of fitting actually. Well, Cynthia's only left with her 1 HP Milotic, so Fapoon can come back out to finish the battle, taking out her Serpent with one last hit and making us the new Sinnoh champions. If you want to see the same challenge but done in Soul Silver, you can click right here for that video. Bugsy has a Caesar, that's all I'll say. And hey, if you're still here, please help me out and double check that you're subscribed. It'll help YouTube know that you like this kind of content, and it helps me grow as a small YouTuber too. Okay, that's all from me. Make sure you check out that Soul Silver video. Okay, see ya.